FBI developing a national database to collect more intelligence on clashes between the police and the public. Attorney General Loretta Lynch says it is an important step in filling what she calls an information void.
If you don't have a sense of the numbers, of the types of interactions, and what we're talking about, it's very, very hard to prescribe the problem and find a solution for it.
All right, so how would this thing work? Garrett Tenney is live from our D.C. bureau with more. Garrett, explain.
Hey, Heather, this is part of the Obama administration's efforts to reform the criminal justice system while holding police more accountable. Starting early next year, the FBI is planning to collect data on police interactions with the public nationwide and more specifically on the use of force. At first, this pilot program will collect data from federal agencies such as the FBI and the DEA. But the hope is that eventually it will include state and local law enforcement departments as well. In the meantime, though, the Justice Department is planning to begin collecting data from local and state police on the numbers of individuals who die while in custody. Attorney General Loretta Lynch announced the plan last night at Georgetown University and said the Justice Department is also asking police officials to voluntarily report other data on non-lethal encounters as well.
When it comes to non-lethal use of force, the things that can really have just as corrosive an effect, there's no statute requiring the collection of that data. So we've spent a lot of time through the FBI working with local law enforcement and tribal law enforcement, I would say, to come up with national consistent standards.
Right now, though, it is completely up to individual police departments to decide what they report beyond those who die in custody. And even in, this new plan doesn't lay out any clear consequences for failing to do that. In a letter to the Justice Department, a group of 96 organizations headed by the ACLU writes, the financial penalty is critical to successful implementation of Deaths in Custody Reporting Act, as voluntary reporting programs on police community encounters have failed. The federal government awards close to $4 billion in such grants annually, and every discretionary grant should be conditioned upon providing data. Now, the end goal here, Heather, and the hope is that with this new program, by collecting better data on police interactions with their communities, departments and officials in Washington can identify problems and find ways to fix them. Of course, it's going to require a lot of work for those local police departments, which are already stretched thin and don't have a lot of funds to do these things.
Certainly. And Washington and solutions, well, some folks would think that's an oxymoron. But Garrett Tenney, thanks a lot joining us from Washington, Garrett.